This was back in March of this year. Facebook exec says Zuckerberg is too powerful and Facebook should be broken up in an undercover interview with, you guessed it, Project Veritas. Benny Thomas, Facebook's global planning lead, told a reporter from Project Veritas back in March that his company is as powerful as a country and needs to be broken up. No king in history is as powerful as Mark Zuckerberg, he claimed. No king in the history of the world has been able to claim to be a ruler of 2 billion people, but Mark Zuckerberg is. Thomas told a Project Veritas reporter in an interview published by Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe on Monday back in March. We hadn't covered this, but I kept it on the back burner. And you'll see where it goes because I got the video. Thomas claimed that Facebook is doing a lot of damage in the world, citing CEO Mark Zuckerberg's forays behind social networking and into healthcare and even gene editing. The government needs to step in and break up Google and Facebook, he said, adding that to do so would be a better thing for the world. This is a lefty, okay? Thomas is not the first person to demand greater government regulation in Silicon Valley tech giants. Republicans have long accused these companies of discriminating against conservatives, and former President Trump repeatedly called for Congress to repeal Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which gives social media platforms immunity from being sued over content posted on their sites and allowed them to decide what content to host and what to remove on their sites as well. Well, I'm going to go and show you just a little bit, because he goes into the gene editing thing there too, which I think is perfect to talk about not only from a information manipulation standpoint, but also from this walking headfirst into this technocratic transhumanist New World Order hell. Whether it gets here in 5, 10, 15 years, we're not safe from it. All right? We're not safe from it. And it does not... what's being done does not change because in a comment section somewhere or in a chat room somewhere, you or I may or may not say, oh, that's not going to happen. We'll stop it. Like we're Peter Strzok. That's not going to happen. Like hell it will. God wins in the end. Yes. But does he win here or in judgment afterwards? Because I'm not too comfortable with just laying back on God wins. Because it's sick to watch such a beautiful planet being taken over and a species being completely hijacked. Because honestly, all they got to do is wait us out unless we start getting loud. All they got to do is just wait us out because the new generation, we're dealing with a generation of people who will not understand a life before COVID. That's going to happen. We already have several generations that don't understand what life was like before 9/11. So it is, I mean, you think about that. Have we been able to reverse the damage of 9/11 yet? Don't worry, we'll stop it. Oh, yeah? Have any of your children ever known a day, unless, of course, they were born in the 80s and the early 90s, will they ever know a day, or have they in the last 20 years, of not getting patted down and scanned by low-level government goons before you get into an airplane? You know, I know we got the fighting spirit, but we still haven't done anything to win any of our freedoms back after 9/11. So listen to this. This is 2-minute-long bumper that RT put out about Project Veritas. Now listen to what this guy, Benny Thomas, says. Hold on. Here we go.
I work for a company that is doing a lot of damage in the world. Facebook.
So I'm going to have to read some of these if they get very muffled for those of you who are listening on podcast. He says, I work for a company that's doing a lot of damage in the world. Remember, he's on hidden camera.
Damage in the world. Facebook and Google are no longer companies, they're countries. They must be stopped. The government needs to step in and break up Google and Facebook.
Government needs to step in and break up Google and Facebook.
It's a better thing for the world. The single biggest thing is this company needs to be broken up.
He's very adamant about Facebook needing to be broken up. No king in history has been able to be the ruler of 2 billion people, he says.
No king in the history of the world has been the ruler of 2 billion people. But Mark Zuckerberg is. I would break it up and I would remove Zuck as the CEO. So Mark Zuckerberg is very concerned with health. In fact, his the Chan Zuckerberg initiative.
So now he's going to talk about the health aspect of things. He said he's very concerned with health. Remember, they're very weird out there. Very weird people. That Jack Dorsey, like, pretty much cryogenically freezes himself. They're all very weird people. Very weird. And of course, we know that where they get most of their money, their grant money, the MIT groups and all that stuff, they're all very cozy with who? Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, Nexium. They're all very into not only just gene editing, but DNA seeding. They're very into this stuff. God knows what is being done in little tanks a mile underground somewhere. But he says, listen, he says, in fact, he's not Zuckerberg now. He has his Chan Zuckerberg initiative. That is a healthcare initiative for gene editing. Listen to where it goes. Hold on.
Zuckerberg initiative. I'm fascinated and terrified at the same time.
Like CRISPR, you should be. It's a fight. It's eugenics, and I don't know any way to stop it. I think.
So he says he thinks the genie is out of the bottle. CRISPR is gene editing technology that actually makes it the whole idea of splicing things together and all that a little bit more turnkey. And I guess that is what is going on with the whole Chan Zuckerberg thing over there. And he's flat out saying it's eugenics.
The genie's out of the bottle, which is why a lot of shit goes down because people aren't paying attention. I can target racist people using just those 3 things. It's that easy because data is very powerful. Give me 5 things about you, and I can pretty much figure out everything else. AI is essentially evolving to become like human intelligence, and then.
He says AI is evolving to become like human intelligence, and then it's going to go beyond human intelligence at that point. Humans are expendable, which of course is what Elon Musk was getting to, which, you know, I don't know. Elon Musk gets a lot of his money from the government now. He's a weird guy. He's got a very weird girlfriend. Weird, I don't know. We probably wouldn't hang out very much if we were next door neighbors. But what he's talking about really isn't, it's really just you're following logical progression. You're just trying to understand where that slippery slope is leading. And yeah, just by the social demands that we're going through here, the demoralization of people that we're going through, there is so much incentive for people to automate major businesses around the world. What do you do with all the people who used to be in those factory jobs and now you have robots making them? It's not just a question about automation and where do humans get their inspiration from in life, but going forward, it's all right, humans are expendable. What happens when these companies that get together and they create universal basic income, they start realizing, oh man, I really do hate paying for all these useless eaters. I really do hate paying for all these useless fucking people. We don't even need them for elections anymore. What happens when all these useless people who don't want to work, who think that they all should be paid to stay home, they're so special, and that they have to make their voice heard in the elections, election this, election that. What happens when the system is so entrenched that there's actually no need for elections? What can you possibly change at that point? There's no need. Where there could be no possible autonomy for any person that comes into any seat of power because the system cannot be changed because so many people are dependent on it. We're already there, obviously, but they're just talking about new iterations of that reality when humans really do become expendable. He continues.
It's going to go beyond human intelligence. And at that point, humans are expendable. It's not like the AI will try to kill us. They just won't care because it'll be so superior that it'll be like, these people don't matter. So I might be killing hundreds of ants when I walk in the park. I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah. It would be a technology that would be indifferent. It would be an entity that would be indifferent to human life. So everything has a place in this. Everything from the biological conditioning that we're going through right now. Everybody's got these operating systems that are being injected into them that now need to be updated every 6 months, or else you don't have an immune system, apparently. And then you have the technological end of things that is both in our hands and is destined to be in our brains. Maybe not our generation, but they're obviously going to stop at nothing, unless, of course, we break the matrix, we shatter the window. There's so much, but plenty to discuss as well.